Good morning, friends, and you are our friends. Welcome to Trekking the Future with me, Joshua Hadley, and the Lord of from the Principality of Sealand, Justin Belanger. Yeah, we're we're doing a show on Star Trek. It's something I've been meaning to do in a long time. Yeah, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I watched Wrath of Khan a couple of times. That's a great film. You know. Oh, yeah, I watched the Wrath of Khan. I watched some of the episodes of the original show, like the first, maybe definitely the first three. It's a monster of a week show and didn't really grab me. Like I know a lot, like it's this big thing for a lot of people. I just I'm I told one of my friends at work like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going on the other side. I've always been a big Star Wars guy myself. Yeah. I I seen that film I seen that film too, and I had to just think about it. I know like Leonard Leroy is in the film, the original guy who played Spock. Um uh they did the simulation test, the Kirk's driving. Like I guess I remember a little more than you. Yeah, yeah. Eh, Well, we're talking about the shows. Let's tell the people who we are. I'm Joshua Hadley up in Kotzebue, Alaska. Right now, I'm the logistics specialist for FBX Aviation Services. I'm on the Kotzebue City Council. I'm the treasurer of the Green Party of Alaska, self-appointed president of the Kotzebue Chess Club, and I'm gonna look into getting one of the 3D chess sets from this series. And now I'm the co-host of this show, just, not very stoic, doing lots and lots of things. Yeah, I did wanted to mention this is sort of like a sequel to Top of the World. Yep. Yeah, a lot of podcasts is a lot about, entertainment, you know? I feel like you're actually, born on the moon and they brought you here. And that's the story they told you when you're 5, you're like, "Alright, yeah." Who here chat, who here remembers being born? I'm sorry. I think that's why, we don't remember that because it would be really awful to well, thankfully, like I said, we're not really big Trekkies, so this is sort of our us dipping into the toe of it, and so let's, review the show or episode rather, um, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I like right away they start off with showing the aliens or I'm sorry, the natives saying, "Oh, hey, look, here's the aliens showing first contact." That's something I have an issue with. Not that me with issue with something that's that I have an issue where I'll say, "Oh, we're going to a planet and meet the aliens," but they're actually the natives and we're the aliens. Me neither. I've seen I've seen some of these people, but yeah, it's yeah, yeah, yeah. Thankfully, we didn't watch The Next Generation. You would say, "Why is William Shatner bald? Like, what's going on?" And before we started, he's been up in space. Anyway, going back to Strange New Worlds, I really like that they showed the the day the Earth stood still, directed by Robert Wise, and sort of his Star Trek connection's interesting because he's the director of Star Trek: The Motion Picture too. Um, we're more into films rather than being Trekkies. Like he's also directed my favorite boxing film, The Setup. But I did like that connection, and I did like the callback to when Pike's like talking to the natives says you can't kill yourself, like he's doing the same sort of thing. Um, I thought this looked like very good for a television show. The original 60s TV show, that I believe those sets were made out of cardboard. I mean, it looked really great for that. I think late 60s. Yeah, absolutely. And I like that we got Spock, and like we were talking about Star Wars earlier. They paid James Earl Jones a million or millions of dollars so that whenever he died, which was not long after, they'll just use AI to keep using his voice to be Darth Vader. So I love him, but people in the future aren't ever gonna get like their own version of Darth Vader. Like, it's always gonna be this AI thing, or as long as Disney or whoever owns it decides to like do it that way. But I like that someone else is playing the character, and I think he did a very good job. Yeah, T-Pain, I think it's I did like the lady asking the man too, I'll say that. And yeah, absolutely. The oh, and, it's really funny to see, when Pike is, having this existential crisis or whatever, and he's in the captain deck, that they just have a open pit fire and, like, I'm glad they were able to figure that out for space travel. Like, it's very aesthetically pleasing. If they did that on the first show, they probably would've caught the cardboard set on fire. One thing that was pretty funny that I remember after they meet the aliens, like, we're not even really talking about what happened on the episode, is, they have first contact with these aliens, they there I go again, I call the native people the alien. Like, we go someone goes down there, they give them the technology that to advance their own technology, and instead of building a warp drive or whatever, they make a bomb, and so Pike's gotta go down there, save the day. And I thought it was really funny, like, thankfully, this worked when the lady pretend she to fall, that when she had Spock, like, do a pinch point, like, thankfully, that worked on these alien bodies that are supposedly supposed to be yeah, thing, like, thankfully, all the aliens are, like, for to us, like, speak English perfectly. You know, with a show like this, you just gotta roll with it, I suppose. Yeah. No, just for the convenience of yeah, viewing audience. The some and for the episode, I really like the ending too. I mean, it was just like we've already talked about. It's like the day the Earth stood still. Like, hey, you could blow yourselves up, and maybe we don't want to get too deep into that because we actually got a whole topic on how the world's falling apart. I know you probably hated that, and you're like, "Blow them up." It's a rats. Like, I can see you just grit your teeth like, "Blow 'em up. Do it. Do it. Do it." And, yeah, it was interesting that Pike knows exactly how he's gonna die, like, it's gonna be in 10 years from the show, or from where we're at in the show, rather. Uh, oh, yeah. I feel like he was, like his whole body was in pain, was like, "Ah." Yeah, I felt like he had a headache, but you saw it in his ears first, though. Man, dude, you know what, Justin? I I'm really tired. Like, I woke up a little over an hour ago, so I feel like it's time for my first hit of caffeine. I'm gonna take some coffee. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, typically I think it'll be $50, but I found a code to get a discount, and yeah, so I saved about $10 on that. I believe Gopher Tuck, not Gopher and Tuck. It's just Gopher Tuck. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey, you did it for me. Yeah, oh yeah, and right now I'm about to drink. I forget the minute. I'm not leaving you. Oh, I was wondering why that happened. Like, why is it like I didn't put two and two together? Like, oh, this is way better than it used to be. And I haven't drinking W. Hmm.
Myself at the beginning of the thing.
Okay, well,
I was muted the entire
let's just roll with it. So
time.
now we
Thank you for showing up, Brandon, and
talk about
informing me of that.
AL.
So, yeah, like 17 minutes in, but you can hear me
Oh,
now. It's our
hey,
first episode. We're trying to figure shit out, but yes, W
I
Energy.
like to think about an e-fetting. Someone said on Future Wrestling or Two Worlds Wrestling Federation,
Mm.
when people do an e-fed, like the first show, they think it's gotta be like this the most amazing thing ever. I would prefer the first show being the worst and like
Yes.
needing to go up in quality as we roll along.
Yeah. Yes.
So, W, there's the link in the stream. If you are watching this, go to their website www.w.com. Don't forget to put the HTTPS. I'm kidding. You need to do that. But go for Tuck, not go for Antuck. Go for Tuck and get a discount.
Yeah.
I
There you go.
really love these. I've been
He,
drinking them
he's
every day.
he's been on that for a while. He likes himself some W Energy. What
So,
flavor was this one?
oh, sorry. Yeah, with the everything going on, I forgot to say, I got the mystery flavor, so I'm not really
Ooh,
sure.
interesting.
Like, what is
Interesting.
this?
Could be anything. Could be cherry. Could be raspberry.
I
Could
have
be
to,
poop. You don't know.
yeah, I have to mix it. But
Gotta mix it. Gotta mix it.
well, since we're we're gonna roll on with it anyway. The persistent. We were talking about this before the ad break. The persistence of conflict. It seems like the world's going down a hole.
Yeah.
It's awful. Putin's invading Ukraine. Netanyahu is he's really upsetting Kanye West. China, they want to take Taiwan.
Not the
The
Kanye
United
West.
States, the United States is gonna take Greenland. I think was it Italy wants to take your piece of pizza from you.
Dang Italy,
Like
man.
awful.
Those damn Italians. There's a lot of bad happening in the world, but also, like, hundreds of years ago, there was a lot worse happening.
Yeah, what was it? Someone did a study like World War II, maybe I don't remember if the number was a billion, but at least 1 billion number of years of lives lost in that war. It was
Oof,
so
Jesus.
devastating.
Mm,
But relatively compared to the 19th
yeah.
century and maybe the 17th century, the 18th century, I think we're more peaceful now
Think,
than ever
like,
before.
like things aren't great right now. There's a lot of bad happening, but also like we gotta speak relatively. You know, like it's the world is in a lot better space than it was then. You know, things are our quality of life has gone up so much since those times that even really bad stuff right now would have been a lot better than what was happening then. I mean,
Yeah,
there was a time where toilets didn't exist. You know,
yeah.
that was rough. There was a time when toilet paper didn't exist. You
Our
know,
pal Kitty, he doesn't even have running water or a toilet. So he's like,
he's living in those times. You know.
he appreciates being able to go to the bathroom. To your point, it's why we're watching so Star Trek, gets a positive
Yeah.
media because that's important. On the
Yeah.
When we did the Green Party's General Assembly and we were talking about this, I watched a YouTube video on Studio Ghibli. Is that how you say it, right?
I believe it's Ghibli. Like that's the way that they
Ghibli, that's
pronounce it.
right.
Which it's I always thought it was Ghibli as well, but I believe it's Ghibli. Yeah.
Ghibli. Someone did a video on was it the Kiki's Delivery Service and
Great movie.
how yeah how they're in that show comparing it to Disney films, how the parents are totally different. Like in Disney, they're like, oh, whatever, mom and dad, I'm gonna go on an adventure. In this one, Kiki pays attention to her elders, but just it is important to have different media pushing different sort of ideas. Like as
Right.
much as we love Grand Theft Auto and Tetris, we need something with some
So much as
like
we love
positive.
Tetris, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's are you implying that Tetris isn't positive?
Well, I watched your video on it, and I created very many positive feelings.
You know, it's true. The episode of that what was that show called? There was an anthology series that was recently released, Level something or whatever, where each episode was based on a video game. It was all animated. The
Yeah.
Pac-Man in that one was not very positive. That did not have a positive message. That one was just violent. Secret Level. That was the name of the show.
And see, I don't. How do you feel? Do you think you're very doomerish right now with uh, everything going on in the world?
To a degree, I do like realize like it could be a lot worse. There's it could be a lot better. It's probably gonna get better, you know, presumably at some point. I mean, I don't know how much better, but it's gonna get better at some point. Like Donald Trump's not gonna be, hopefully, not gonna be in charge after these next 4 years. Um, like there's always periods where everything seems bad and it's like the world's gonna end and it's all awful, and then things get better and then they get worse again and then they get better. It's fluctuating, but again, even when it's at its worst, it's not the worst that we've as a species seen by far, like not even close. And I mean they
I
made
mean,
it through all that. I mean some people
yeah,
didn't, but a lot of people made it through all that.
yeah, absolutely, and it is understandable being doomerish. I mean, it has been 100 years we had the ability just to
Yeah.
shoot missiles and destroy the world, but we haven't done it, and with some of these conflicts like
Yeah.
Pakistan and
I mean,
India going at it.
I thought during
Yeah.
Trump's first reign that like there was gonna be some huge war going on with us, but didn't happen. You know.
The thing is, it's not gonna be a huge war with them. There's gonna be a hurricane. And he's like, all right, we're gonna prove these idiots wrong, and we're gonna nuke that thing.
You really elected a guy who thinks you could nuke a hurricane twice.
Well, talking about bad decisions,
Yeah.
let's go on to our next topic.
Okay.
Would you have followed General Order 1, or would you have broke the rules?
Uh, uh, I'm not a fan of the rule personally.
Hmm.
Because like, and I think they have a similar thing like that in the Orville. Um, it's like it could result in bad things happening, such as the people the natives here making a bomb instead of using it for
Mm.
the right way. But like, if if you see a whole world of people struggling, like your first inclination is to help, right? You want to, and you have the technology that could make things a lot better for them. It's easy to want to help in a scenario like that, and it could go bad. It could go very well for them, but I feel like in most cases they would deserve the chance to improve their society. Um,
I,
so yeah, I'd break it.
I like that story of that Christian missionary that decided he was gonna save those people on that island. That it's illegal to go there in the like what sea is that? The Indian Sea? Like I know it's down there. I'm like I don't
I
know
don't.
if I'm like screwed up. Like oh,
I don't
it's
know.
the Gulf
I've heard of the thing you're talking about, but I'm not sure which sea it was.
Yeah, so this guy goes down there. He's like, I'm gonna save these people and bring them pieces, and like, they kill his ass, dude.
Mm. There is some nuance to it because like you don't know what these people are gonna be like in any given scenario, like especially in a situation like Star Trek where it's just millions of planets all over the
Yeah,
galaxy. Like you're gonna run into very different types of. I, I don't want to say people because like I don't know if different
I was
alien
about to say the
species.
MacGuffin people. I can't. What were they? The Gork or Gorg? What's their name again?
The one from this episode.
Yeah, yeah.
I think. I don't think it says the name. The planet is Kylie 279. Know that much.
Kylie. That's important.
Kiley 279. So that's let's see. Let's say okay. It just says Kylie inhabitants.
Well, the inhabitants. I feel like that civilization was advanced enough to where all right, we
Mm,
could go in and talk to these people.
yeah, yeah,
And it seemed like they were excited to like at least some of them like, oh, they're here. We're making first contact.
yeah, yeah. I think they did this exact thing in the Orville, like an episode that was about uh them going against orders and helping out a civilization on the different planets with their
Yeah,
technology. And I believe things also similarly went poorly in that one. So, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is a rule we should abide by.
you need some conflict, you know.
Mm,
Can't just go and like, hey, what's
yeah.
up, guys?
Yeah.
It's like if you we should do a show of give it Giggity Gopher landing and making first contact on a different planet,
Mm.
and they take you and put you in a zoo. There he is.
You
Pay five
know?
dollars to see the hairy
Yeah.
man.
I am very hairy. It's true. I probably fit in pretty well at a zoo.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I
For
would.
me, yeah, I, d- I don't want to like be like, oh, I'm will be nuanced. I don't want to answer the question.
Yeah.
I'd say like, yeah, for these for a race that's like, I believe like they got technology to build rockets,
Yeah.
missiles.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can go and talk to them.
Mm. Mm.
Like maybe even a little more advanced than us
Mm.
than we are right now, or maybe at it.
Yeah.
Uh, I would think in aliens, or I don't know. Do you remember? We got a couple minutes still. Back in December, there was some lights in the sky, and some people were freaking out, like, "Ah, it's aliens!"
I don't think I heard
Can't
about
handle
that.
it.
I've heard of similar things throughout the years, but I don't know if I've heard about that specific one. Or was that there was something that was like over one of the states
I
that
was
was
listening to
happening.
NPR, and they brought up like, "Oh, the Trump administration said, oh yeah, it's drones," and of course it was.
Okay, yeah, that was the thing that I heard of. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe we can't handle first contact. Well, I
Mm.
think we're close enough to say,
Mm.
one of our sponsors is doing the event April 22nd. What day is that, Justin?
April 22nd would be. a Tuesday, isn't it?
Tu-
Tuesday.
Tuesday, Earth
Tuesday.
Day.
Mm.
We're doing the seventh annual Regenerative Planet Summit. Mark Hewitt has got a presentation on TAPS 2.0. That's the Transelastic Pipeline. And they're looking at different things we could do with it, like maybe, I'm sorry, not maybe, but perhaps putting resources in the pipeline, transporting that just like we do with oil, and maybe even people one day. Yeah, I feel like as expensive as it is to go down to Texas, I think that cost me $1,000
Oh,
two
Jesus.
way. More than that
Mm.
to buy a ticket. But if we can go into tubes and pay $50 to go around the world,
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
He's
That'd
doing
be nice.
so that technology is called ET3. He's doing a presentation on that. Um,
Related to the alien?
I, I wish. Um, or maybe actually, if you can go in a tube and go around the world and travel places, wouldn't you be an alien going somewhere?
You know?
Like
Good
making
point.
first contact.
Mm.
I imagine you like going to Japan and I come in peace, and they're looking at it like not like me.
Mm.
I come in peace.
I'd fit in well in Japan. I'm a good height for it. You know, I'm not gonna stand out too much.
Yeah, so yeah, they're doing that April 22nd. When we get
22nd.
more information, we'll give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Check us out to stay updated on that. We'll have
Yep.
more information for sure. Um, and the next topic is
Yes.
unity among diversity. We're a very diverse class. Like, I'm Pack. You're not like me. Like,
I am a whitey. I'm a honky. And we
and
have a very diverse group of friends. You know,
yeah.
we have an Egyptian friend.
Mhm.
That's not something that exists too much. Which that's the thing I actually was going to bring up later when we have another topic. So I will talk about that later. But yeah, a lot of diversity in our group.
Absolutely. Like, I think TJ is a Christian, so you know,
I don't even know if he's a
like,
Christian anymore.
oh,
Hmm.
is he? Has he switched over Return to Return yet?
Yeah, that's what he is now.
There we go. But yeah, I didn't want to get too deep into talking about like how people on the internet are saying Strange New Worlds is Star Trek gone woke. Um,
Wasn't it always?
I was gonna say like some people,
It's one of
I,
those things where a lot of people were like people will say something's gone woke, but then they completely miss the point of the original.
I was just gonna say like we were saying at the beginning. Well, anyone they heard me at least talk about how I was a Star Wars fan before, and the first
My bad.
movie has the first movie, all the villains are white guys. They're
Yeah.
looking at blowing up planets, and they get destroyed by or the Death Star gets destroyed by a diverse crew of characters,
Yeah.
and it sort of took people a couple decades to say, "Oh, wow, they're sort of criticizing imperialism and white nationalism."
It's like there are people who got mad at Rage Against the Machine for going woke because they completely misunderstood what killing in the name means.
I mean, like they've always raged against the machine.
Yes, what did you think the machine was? You know, machine
but
wasn't people of color.
watching Strange New Worlds, I did like how many women characters there
Mm.
are.
Yeah.
For like stuff like having jobs and whatnot. I always thought it was an interesting point was made
Mm.
considering diversity. Um, for the gender thing, like
Yeah.
someone brought up, when we gonna have true equality when with stuff like the Supreme Court, and someone
Mm.
made the point. I can't remember who, but it's not gonna be truly equal until one day it's an all lady court,
Yeah,
and that makes sense because it's been all male for a
yeah.
long time. Like, when's that ever gonna
And
happen?
and it's good with this because it's like this is a future show. Like it's futuristic. It's meant to be, where we get to as a society. So it's implying that we're gonna eventually get to that point where it is truly equal between men and women. That's good.
I'm waiting for the reviewer or the fan that's like, diversity. God, get rid of that Vulcan.
uh,
What's he doing on the Federation Star Trek? I'm sorry. Be funny to experience kind
mm,
of like that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and it seems like a trend in media for sure. But the first show, I wasn't gonna make this a trivia question because I don't even know myself. But was Star Trek the first TV show to have not like me kiss a toxic fucking black lady?
Like have a white person
If,
kiss a black person. I think it might be. I feel like that's something I've heard, but I'm not sure. I can let me check that. Let me check that out.
yeah, let's look into that. Kirk kisses Uhura. Um,
Let's
yeah,
see. Yep, Star Trek. First television show to
yeah,
feature a white man kissing a black woman is widely considered to be Star Trek, specifically in the episode titled Plato's Stepchildren.
man, they have gone woke. Can you believe they did that?
Jungle Fever in my Star Trek? Mm-mm.
What? 20? Are you kidding me? Funny, like, I
Mm.
mean, yeah, like you said, Star Trek has always been like, whoa. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just sort of a term people throw around when like it's when someone says the F word or whatever. In my experience, anyway, it's
Yeah.
not even.
Like it
I mean,
doesn't.
it's some sort of hatred towards them, but
Yeah.
so
The way the word's used nowadays, it's like it doesn't even mean anything anymore because it's just they call anything that they don't agree with woke. Like that's generally what we see it being used for now.
I, I'll tell you what, I don't like being woke. Like 2 hours ago, I was slept.
Sleeping is a lot
So
better than
that's
being awake. That's.
I'm sorry, it is funny. A lady captain. It must have been on the show, but I don't know if there's been a lead character. I know there's been Kirk, Picard. Khan was there though. He wasn't a Starfleet captain. Hmm. But it's interesting to have more ladies on the show.
Yeah.
Like well, see, let's get into some. We're stealing from not Game Grumps this time, but
Hmm.
Top of the World.
Yeah. Yeah. Stealing from ourselves. Look at that.
For the unfortunately, no one's asked you a question online, so we're
Yeah.
gonna do some trivia. How about that?
We can do some trivia. I don't know if I'm gonna be very good at it, but 'cause again, I don't know too much about Star Trek yet. But we'll see. See if I can get any of these.
I thought about getting a chess clock for a timer, but we'll just go by vibes. All right.
All right. See my vibes.
All right. If you win, we'll give you a round of applause. If you lose, we're gonna open a trap door, and I don't want to spoil what happens. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. Uh, I'll, I'll leave it there.
How many do I need to get right to win?
Two. How about that?
Two. Okay, I get two right. Then I get a nice round of applause. Take that.
If you lose, like the trap door opens. So. Okay.
Okay. No worried about
All
that.
right. First question: NBC rejected the pilot for Star Trek. What famous comedian got them to take another look?
Pilot for Star Trek. So the show came out in the late '60s,
Yeah.
so like it would be a famous comedian from that era.
Yep.
Ooh, comedian. I don't know too
She did
many.
a show. Um,
So it's a lady.
random. Yeah.
Oh god, I don't know too
See, I
many.
gave you two. I gave you two against there in that short sentence.
All right, what was the second thing you said there?
She did a show for a long time. I don't remember if it was on NBC,
Hmm. Oh
but
god.
definitely before Star Trek.
The lady who played Maud, Betty
No, it was
White.
Lucille Ball.
I love Lucy. Right. You
Yeah.
know, makes sense. Hmm.
Yeah, they did the pilot. NBC didn't like it, and the show was just gonna die. But she liked the show so much, she put the money
Hmm.
to film another episode.
Nice. Hey, good job, Lucille Ball.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And that's one wrong answer leading towards the trapdoor. Hmm.
Yep.
Hmm.
In the mirror universe, what replaced the United Federation of Planets?
Ooh, what replaced the United Federation of Planets? I have no clue on this, so I'm just gonna take a complete shot in the dark. The KKK.
Sort of like I'm not gonna give you the point. The Terran Empire.
Mm.
I thought about this question, and it's on what the new film is about.
Mm.
Like, I thought off chance maybe he watched it,
So
but well,
yeah.
we'll ask the final question
Okay.
just so that you can like in the eyes of the people you can redeem yourself.
Yeah, try to redeem myself a little bit here.
The original series gave us Captain Kirk, not this one. The series and the crew boldly going where no one has gone before. Who was the captain in the pilot episode of the original Star Trek series?
Um, was it the guy from this one? Pike.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because I knew that he was the predecessor for Kirk. So I got one right. I actually knew one. Look at that.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I'm still going in the
Well,
trapdoor, but you know I got one right at least.
we're not gonna do it right now. It'd be too violent for the people.
Great, I get that to look forward to now.
So let's talk about hope through exploration. Or
Oh, we're just giving the
no,
Gopher and Tuck advertisement here.
no, we're not. I'm sorry. I had to switch over to my
Gopher and Tuck updates here on this channel,
yeah.
which is Gopher and Tuck. So, on our YouTube right now, we are almost finishing. We're almost near the end of the Batman Arkham Asylum series, being played by Tuck, who was here earlier to inform me that I had not turned my microphone on.
Appreciate that.
Yep, thank you. And there's a solo Gopher series, just me, of Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which is going to be the longest series in channel history, at least in terms of episode amount. Some series have had longer episodes on average, so there might be ones that have more runtime. But this is going to be the first series to crack 100 episodes. Going to get into triple digits with this one. However, so when Arkham Asylum ends, which will be soon, I think the next couple days, then Echoes of Wisdom will start going twice a day instead of once. It'll take up both slots until that's done. And then we're going to be doing something a little different here. We're going back to a format of video that we tried out back in 2023, where it's a more condensed thing. It kind of gets out all the filler. They're more entertaining episodes. It's less episodes. Excuse me. So, like, you don't have to feel like you're committing to such a long series if you want to watch a series on the channel now. And I don't know. I liked them when we did them in 2023. They were just a lot of work, which is why we stopped doing them. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to get back into that. And we're going to be starting that with our yearly randomized Nuzlocke of a Pokemon game. This time is our very first Pokemon ROM hack, which is still randomized. Pokemon Gaia will be the one getting played. So the way it's going to work with uploading is it's going to be Monday through Saturday, one episode a day, for 2 different games. So Pokemon Guy will have 3 episodes on alternating days, and then whatever the other game is that we're playing at that point, we'll have 3 episodes on alternating days as well. And then Sunday we'll have nothing for the moment, but I think eventually we're gonna get back to GM Battle when the next WWE game comes out, and that'll probably take up Sundays. So a new format, fun stuff. As far as Twitch goes, we have this podcast right here, which also will be going up on YouTube at 2:00 p.m. in Central Time every day, the same day that it gets filmed live. Preferably with both of us talking the entire time moving forward.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and I've been doing a Gopher and Tuk deal most weeks where Jeff and I, along with anyone else who wants to join, TJ, Brandon, whatever, playing Marvel Rivals.
I wish I wasn't at work at that. I just wanted to say that, like, I would tune in, but
yeah. And eventually we're gonna be moving away from that, but we have to wait for a certain update for a certain game to come out. That being Baldur's Gate 3. They have a cross-play update. I think they're actually doing the beta testing for that right now. So once that update is out, we'll be doing, me, TJ, and Jeff will be doing a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't played the game. They've played it multiple times through. I have not ever played it. But I mean, it's essentially Dungeons and Dragons in video game format. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's gonna be a very long series, but that'll be once a week, every week, and yeah, and then presumably Tuck and I will also be streaming stuff on occasion when we do such a thing. And I think we might have mentioned it a little bit ago, but on Valentine's Day, we're gonna be doing another chess club stream here on the channel.
Yeah.
Here on Twitch.
Yeah, we'll figure out the times. Like, we sort of just got the vibe of it happening Valentine's Day, yeah. Friday the 14th. Probably do it in the afternoon. Well, for Alaska time, like,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Late afternoon for those in the real time zone. Late at night for people in England. I'm not sure.
We'll figure that out, and then in one of these episodes of Trekking the World or Trekking the Future, we'll give the specifics. You know, next week's episode, I guess, because it'll be happening right after that, the following week.
We'll Trek the World to tell them, like, we'll knock on the door. Here's the time. But anyway, yeah, check out Gopher and Tuk. If you're watching right now, it's real easy.
You're already there.
If you're on the website, my website, I'll have a link in the description. The description. I was gonna say the description as if they're watching on YouTube. I'll have a link on my website in the links area.
Yes. Yes.
I'll create a page for Trekking the Future. That'll make it easy.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do that, it'll take some exploration, and that's what I want to talk about before we go. Is hope through exploration. And you know, on this subject, I've been telling people I feel like it's really educational, and something I miss out on is traveling the world, going to different places. I feel like there's a lot to learn, but thankfully, with the innovation of the internet, I get to just hop on here and talk to people like you.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier about how we have a friend from Egypt. You know, like the internet, there's a lot of issues with the internet, granted, but I feel like when people talk about like the toxic aspects of the internet, they don't really bring up the positives. And I mean, the fact that we can be friends with, you know, a guy from Canada, people from England, a guy from Egypt, you know, like these are things that wouldn't have been possible without the internet. I wouldn't be here without the internet. Like, we're doing this on the internet. I met you through the internet. I met Brandon through the internet. Like, it's not all negative. There's a lot of positivity that you can get out of the internet. And
absolutely.
It's very helpful in a lot of ways. And it can help establish friendships that you never expected to be possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, we don't have like easy travel right now. I mean, there is easy travel. It's just we're- I'm precarious, and Justin's like in a financial worse situation than that. But you know, it does open the pathway to be able to explore different things. Sometimes it is
Mm,
scary, but you know,
mm,
like exploring is scary if we're out in the
mm.
forest walking around or the tundra or even
Yeah,
the city. Like you know, you're not always the guaranteed safety, but
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, you can find really cool
Especially,
things if you,
especially if you're a Christian man going to an island that no one's supposed to go to.
yeah. I mean, at least it's exciting, you know.
Yeah.
I do really love that story. Like just because you brought that up, I'm probably gonna watch a video on that again. I really like Star Trek. You know, they're going different places, and
Yeah.
um, it really brings up the positivity of doing that. And they just at the end of this episode, like, oh, when they ask what we're gonna do, like we're gonna go where no one has ever gone before, and
Boldly,
that's really
even.
cool.
Yeah.
Totally, even
Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
that's the whole point. The show is called Strange New Worlds because they're exploring new worlds that are strange to them.
And I want to do that. Like, I think at the end of May or maybe the beginning, Alaska Airlines is gonna have flights to Tokyo.
Ooh.
I still got a good passport.
Mm, nice.
But
That's a dream place for me right there. That's a dream location to visit is Tokyo.
I'd want to check out rural Japan.
Mm,
But the city, seeing the city would be cool too.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Then talk about the internet. Like you said, we often do hear the toxic aspects of it, and
Yeah. There are many of
um,
those, but
mhm.
yeah, there's a lot of good.
Yeah, like this show, for example. Like
Yeah.
we're not putting toxic out there. I hope. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
if the internet didn't exist, you wouldn't have got to listen to Josh talking to himself for 20 minutes.
I was gonna say like you know, it's the reason that it's not good because they weren't able to hear you for a while. So if it worked perfect, like oh, got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, like and I'm grateful like we're able to get news and stuff beyond just the way we did it before, just watching
Yeah.
TV or even reading the newspaper sometimes.
Mm.
Because
You do have to be
if that's
weary though, because
yeah,
like there's obviously a lot of fake news out there, and it's more difficult now because AI has become such a big thing where it's like people can make fake videos of real people, and
oh
it's
yeah,
it's so easy to fake stuff now. But there are ways to fact check that are valid online. Like it's not as difficult as people sometimes think to check if something's real or not. You just have to find reputable sources talking about the thing. You know, if no reputable source is talking about whatever this thing is, then yeah, it's probably not real.
yeah. It's like oh, that was a very terrible joke, but yeah, it's just like going and walking around. Like you gotta know what you're doing, or
Yeah.
like this one guy who decided to move up here in January and stay in a tent. Like
Ooh.
I will probably done the opposite and come in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you do have to be careful, but you know, there's a lot of great stuff on the internet,
Yeah.
and maybe the thing for people isn't social media. Definitely not for me,
Mm,
because you do get a lot of people act strangely on there, and they feel like,
yeah.
oh, I can just say whatever. But it seems like smaller communities, like how the internet used to work, when you go on web forums.
Discord is a
That
really good
yeah,
thing for that. Like
yeah,
there's
I think bring
because
up Discord.
there's a lot of like, I mean, it's exclusively small communities. It's like it's private. Some communities are public, but you can also make private ones. You can have all the people you want in there. Um, Like the Discord has definitely been huge for communities online. It's a great way
Absolutely.
for them to come together and interact.
Yeah, and like we're not just ready to deal with just going online and being told whatever, and we don't really have any real connection to the person.
Yeah.
Um, but hey, it's also how you find really cool people.
Yeah.
But
Like
more
Alaskans
helpful if you have the
and
same interest,
yeah.
like pro wrestling or Tommy Rich.
Pro wrestling. I mean, that's part of pro wrestling. Not very rich, but video games. We both movies and everything. Yeah.
Star Trek.
So now, yes, Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, we kind of
and
found
I'm
Star
looking
Trek
for
through each other rather than finding each other through Star Trek. But
yeah. Um, I joined the Star Trek community. We'll definitely see how this show goes. How both Strange New Worlds and Trek in the Future.
yeah,
I really enjoyed this first episode though.
same.
You know, since we're at our outro point. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the show. Like, it wasn't 10 out of 10. I mean, I did watch it like 2 times, and I did enjoy watching it both times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I might even watch a new episode tonight. I think, yeah, last time I watched it was Saturday night.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I'm trying to watch
I'm
each
looking forward.
episode either the day before we do this show or even the morning of, because I am not great with remembering stuff. My brain is all over the place. So I want to have it as fresh in my mind as I can. But yeah, I enjoyed the first episode. I'm looking forward to watching more. I know at the very least, the plan, like, this is the season we're doing of this, where it's we're watching all 10 episodes of the first season of Strange New Worlds, and then I believe we're doing an 11th episode to talk about the overall season.
Yeah,
And then we'll see from there, how we feel. But I'm enjoying it so far. I enjoy the show. I enjoy this show. I will try to talk for an entire 60 minutes next time. And yeah. Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. If people want to find me, I'll make it. I'll give you all the links at www.joshuajhadley.com. Um, yeah, I'll give a link to the Club Kotzebue Discord. Unfortunately, I know one of the people who joined your server, they found it through the chess club by going to your YouTube, whatever. But
Mhm. Mhm. It's
um,
okay.
yeah,
Just note that the Gopher and Tuck server is not a chess server. We do occasionally do these chess
yeah.
streams, but it's a server for Gopher
I,
and Tuck.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want to remind people, if anyone's watching this in Kotzebue, I'm doing the chess club on Saturdays over at the Alaska Technical Center. If you want to meet me over there, um, seems like I took up half the outro anyway. So Gopher and Tuck,
Today's a
we talked
Saturday.
about it before. Yeah, absolutely. Later today,
Yeah,
this
later today.
afternoon,
Yeah.
late in the afternoon in Texas, though. I don't think you can get here in
Yeah.
time.
Yes. And Gopher and Tuck, we're Gopher and Tuck. That's anywhere Gopher and Tuck, TUK if you haven't seen it yet. Um, and yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on here, Twitch. Uh, we have a Blue Sky account. No Twitter account anymore. I peace out of that place, but we do have
Me
a Blue
too.
Sky account. Uh, and we have a Discord. You can find the link to the Discord on our Blue Sky or in the description of our YouTube videos or whatever. Even in the chat, if you do !Discord, I believe that'll work. I'm not sure. That might not have been set up yet, but I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, he's gonna test it out. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
See,
let's go.
that brings an invite link. Yeah, and
Whatever you do, make sure you join right away and just talk about chess. Like even if you don't like it, just like,
um,
hey, I'm your critic.
and for anyone, sometimes we play games on stream that are multiplayer. We invite people in, and if you're interested in that, we have a voice chat in there for that. So yeah, there you
Well, thanks for joining me, Justin, and thanks
go.
for anyone who's watching. And
Thank you, Brandon, for informing us of my great error.
Yeah, thanks. Oof. That's, yeah, next time we'll definitely
Yeah.
have a better show, and hopefully my room looks cooler, as cool as it is now.
Yeah.
But thanks for everyone for joining us, and have a good rest of your week.
Goodbye.